This is going to be a quick, easy tutorial, beginner friendly, entry level, you name it. You could have just never heard of KvCORE and stumbled upon this and still follow along with me. So today in this video, we'll be talking about hashtags, filters, how to just navigate the KvCORE system altogether and start nurturing your leads today. So make sure you follow along with me from beginning to end. There's going to be a lot of great knowledge in this video. And yeah, let's go hop in together, get on KvCORE, and learn how to do all that cool stuff. So we're gonna hop on the computer together. I'll be sharing my screen. That way you can follow along with me and get familiar with the KvCORE system. Okay, and again, we'll be covering hashtags, filters, and how to just navigate the whole system as a whole and start nurturing your leads today. Okay, so when you log on to KvCORE, this is what you're going to see. Most likely, you'll be on the dashboard. As soon as you get started, you'll start seeing all of this information that you see on the screen right now. To get to the CRM section, we're going to click on Smart CRM on the left-hand side of the screen. Okay, so when I click on here, that is going to open up my list of contacts. Okay, so all of the contacts you've uploaded onto KvCORE will pop up here. And if you haven't uploaded your contacts yet and you need help with that, I'll link a video down in the description so you can watch that and get your contacts imported into KvCORE, which is obviously the very first step you want to take so that you can start nurturing your leads. Okay, so if you don't have your contacts uploaded just yet, make sure to watch that video first and then come back to this one and I'll teach you and show you how to navigate the whole system and start actually taking action and nurturing those leads. But let's get back to it. So when you go into the Smart CRM section, you are going to see this interface right here. And for the purposes of not getting this video flagged or taken down, I'll try my best to not show any contact information on the screen, both for the protection of the people whose contact I have here, and also so that you guys don't miss out on this video because it'll be taken down by YouTube. So I have a list of fake contacts right here that we're going to be testing or actually recording this video with so that I can show you all of the features of KvCORE. Okay, so right now everything you see on the screen are not real people, they're just fake people. So yeah, if you try to call them, it will not work. Okay, so when you go to the Smart CRM section, you'll see a screen just like this. Do not mind all of these little buttons I have up top. We'll get to that. These are just filters. But before we even get started and dive into everything, I want to go through each little section and tell you what everything does. So on the KvCORE CRM right here, you'll notice obviously a table with all of your contacts broken down into little sections. You have the first name, last name, the status, the rating of the contact, the activity, the location. This is the address you have on file for these people. The interest, if they're interested in certain type of property with certain amount of bedrooms or bathroom. Last visit, last call, when this contact was created, when what's the source of this contact, so where did this contact come from. Next action is the next action that's scheduled to happen, whether that's an email, a text message being sent out, a call that's scheduled. And then last, you have owned by. Okay, so I own all of my leads, so there's going to be my name under each and every single one of these leads you see on the screen. Okay, so on your end, once you upload your contacts, if you're not in a team or if you're not sharing leads, you should only see your name here. But nonetheless, the process is going to be the same when it comes to nurturing these leads. Okay, so we're going to actually get started by clicking on a lead right here so I can show you all the actions you can take when it comes to nurturing your leads. So we're going to click on Alicia right here, who is one of the fake contacts we'll be working with today. So once I click on Alicia's name, a new window is going to pop up and you will see all of the information pertaining to Alicia. So on the left hand side right here, you will see all of her contact information, whether that's the phone number, email, an address on file. Right below that, you will be able to see whether she's a buyer, seller, renter, vendor, or an agent like myself. And then you have the hashtag section, which we're going to get to in a bit. And then right down here, you have insights, okay? So insights is also another way for you to sort through your contacts by the degree of, importance. So you can have low quality leads, which could be people in your database who maybe are not taking too much action, you've never actually interacted with them, or you're not sure if their contact information is correct. So now, if a lead on your system who had, very a very low score starts interacting with properties on your KvCORE website, or you're starting to make calls with them or exchanging emails, KvCORE will automatically update their score right here. Okay, so that will tell you that this lead is of higher quality and they have taken some type of action to demonstrate that they are interested in at least communicating about buying or selling a property or something along those lines. You can also come here and manually change this yourself by selecting how many stars you want this lead to have. So you can go from 1 star all the way up to 5 star for the best possible lead. And then down here, you'll notice a summary for this lead. Okay, so right here, it'll tell you based on the activity the lead is doing on your website, or based on the activities such as emails exchange, text messages, phone calls, property views on your website. KvCORE will try and determine what this lead is interested in. Okay, this is mainly actually going to be your website. So if they're looking at 3-bed, 2-bath on your property, on your KvCORE website, you will see here that, hey, this lead might be interested in a 3-bed, 2-bath in such and such neighborhood. Okay, and down here you'll see when this lead first signed up. This could be either when you put the lead on KvCORE or when they signed up on your website or through a landing page. And then you'll see what method of importation actually generated this lead. Did they come from Google ads, Facebook ads, manual input? Did you manually add this contact on there? Or wherever this lead was from, it's going to show you that here under the source and right here. Okay, and then yeah, so all of this is honestly referring to the same thing. Lead import tells me that I have manually inputted Alicia's contact information onto KvCORE. So this summary will just show you what all this contact is interested in, where they came from, and when they signed up or when they got added to the system. So then down here, you have a contact validation section. This is a really cool feature that a lot of people don't know about KvCORE. So what this will do is when you click on run next to contact validation, KvCORE will actually take the information it already knows about the lead and search for extra information based on what it already has. So for instance, you could have Alicia's email, Alicia's address, but not a phone number. By running a contact validation, KvCORE will attempt to find out what that extra information is. It could be a phone number, a social media profile, or a website somewhere. And through that, you might be able to have a better chance of getting in touch with said contact. Okay, and in this example, that would be Alicia. So KvCORE will automatically run this, but you can always come back here and click run. And once you do, KvCORE will let you know what was found, if anything. So notice when I click run here, I had a new card populate here. It'll tell me validation ran, it'll tell me the time and date. And now I found out that apparently Alicia is a female and her location is in New York, and the quality of her email is excellent. Okay, and looks like it already found an extended email. So this is not going to be 100% accurate, so take it with a grain of salt. It's something that's nice to have. It's absolutely free. So do double check that information. Make sure that everything is congruent before sending emails out or making phone calls. Yeah, this lead is not even real, so maybe it did find something similar to it. But that's what contact validation is. And then down here to the bottom left is going to show you who owns this lead, who it's assigned to, and whether or not you want to share it with another team member, within your brokerage, or another agent altogether. And then if we go back up in the middle section, you're going to see the client journey. So the client journey basically tells you where along the, from meeting that client or getting introduced, or wherever you guys started, you and that lead, it could have been. So the client journey is basically going to tell you what the status of the client is. It could be someone in your sphere of influence. It could be a prospect, a new lead. It could be, an active lead. It could be a client. You could be under contract, or just could be someone you previously closed. So through here, you can see what the status of that lead is. And this is something you can manually change, okay? So KvCORE can automatically change this based on certain parameters you set, whether that's through smart campaigns. By the way, if you don't know what smart campaigns are, I also made a video on that. The link in the description if you're interested in that. But yeah, you can come back here and manually change, people's statuses. And the reason why you would do that is if you only want to see a specific kind of contact, maybe you only want to see your active leads, you can filter all of your contacts by their status. So you can only display people who have a status of active lead, people who only have a status of closed, or any of these you see up here. So it's just another way for you to sort through all of your contacts and text all those people at once, email all those people at once, or do whatever you want to just that specific group. Okay, and it's just helpful to know where you are in a transaction with these people. And then right below that, you're gonna have some important information down here. It'll show you what the activity that the lead is, the last time the lead was active, whether that's on your website or them giving you a call or an email. You'll see how many properties they viewed this week, or maybe all together in total. You'll be able to see that information there. So down here in the middle section, you have the timeline. So the timeline is very important because it's going to keep track of all the interaction you've had with that client. So that includes phone calls, texts, emails, notes you've taken, and even all the smart campaign actions. Pretty much anything that goes on between you and the lead that you record here will remain here. So you always have a place to go to kind of recap, and before you talk to people, you can always see what happened beforehand. Okay, so that way you're not just blindly calling and trying to recall information that might or might not be accurate. Okay, so this section will be in chronological order. And you can kind of come back here and see what all has been happening, and refresh your memory before you call that lead. Down here, you can also refresh this because certain times, emails will be sent, text will be sent. They won't immediately pop up. So you can click the refresh button here and it'll, update the feed to show you what the latest is between you and that client. You can click on inbox. This will show you all of the emails that this client has sent you, and then you can click on specific activities to show on here. Okay, if you want to filter your timeline, you can only show notes, you can only show properties that they viewed, showing requests, text messages. You can filter this timeline how you would like. Okay, but usually I keep it on all because I always want to see everything that's been going on before I get in touch with the lead. Okay, and then at the top right here, you have all the actions you can take when it comes to this lead. So I can place a call from here, I can add a note, I can send an email, a text message. Voicemail drop and core video are really good features, but you do have to pay for those. Okay, so these are paid features. So the voicemail drop is a feature where you can just skip the call altogether and leave a message in their voicemail. And the core video, like what it says, is just a way for you to send video messages to leads, which is pretty cool. Core present right here. We'll make a video about that next. It's a really cool, piece of software to create a bunch of different presentations, CMAs for clients, buyer tours, and all that fun stuff. So you can take action on the top right here, and take any of the actions you see up there. Okay. So if you click on new call, this will initiate a call with that lead, and this will utilize your KvCORE smart number. Okay, so this will not be your personal number they see when they see your call. It will be this KvCORE smart number. Okay, so you can click on new call, press call now, and what this will do is it'll call your phone first, and then once you pick up your phone, it'll tell you push any button to get connected to said lead, and once you push that button, you will be connected to that lead, and then you can start communicating. And yeah, you also have a log call section in the middle, which is usually it'll automatically come here once you connect the call, and you can start taking notes about the interaction you're having with said lead. Okay, and after the call or during the call, you can even schedule another follow-up call. You can set the time. You can sync this with your Google account if it is connected, and yeah, you can also enable repeat calls or press yes or no here and click schedule call, and that's done for you. So we're gonna cancel for now. And then the add note is very simple. If I click on that, it'll open up a little pop-up here through which I can type some notes and save so that I can remember next time I want to talk to this lead, or just key information I don't want to forget. Next up, we have send email. So if I click on that, straightforward, it's going to open up an email composer. I can type up my email here and then press send and send this over to the lead. Send text, also very easy. I can type up my text once I click on that. I can attach an MLS ID in case I'm reaching out to this client in relation to a certain property on the MLS. And then I can click send here, and there goes that text message. Very, very simple. Okay. Voicemail drop, we won't get into, neither will we get into Core Video or Core Present. Maybe we'll save those for other videos. But these four up top are most likely the only things you're going to use, at least as a start. Okay. And if you go to more actions here, there's many more things you can do here, a little bit more advanced, but feel free to take a look here and you can, play around with those extra features. But today we're only talking about the core, basic minimum entry level things you need to know when getting started. So it's important not to overload your brain and just start jumping everywhere when you get started. So we're only learning the basics today. So let's also cover down here, we'll skip the Core Concierge follow-up. That's also another feature that's a little bit more advanced, and I believe it's something you have to pay for. So very, very important, on the right-hand side, these are all of the drip campaign or recurring alerts you can set for clients, okay? And also some smart, really cool email material you can send out to your clients. So you can set property alerts for your leads. So what that means is you can set a specific criteria of properties that you continuously send to clients. So let's say you have a client named Josh who's looking for a 5-bed, 3-bath in the city of Orange, and you want to send him, properties that match those criteria every single week as they hit the market. You can go ahead and click add next to property alerts and follow, the steps there, and it will start sending Josh properties that match that criteria. All of those emails will be branded to you. You do not need to do any extra work after setting this up, and it will just keep on running for as long as, you keep this on, okay? You also can add smart campaigns, which is very, very important. Made a video about this. We'll link it in the description. You can add campaigns here so that KvCORE automatically follow up with leads for you, and you can customize those to do pretty much anything you need to do. Market reports are also very, very cool. If you click add right here, you can type any location here. It could be a neighborhood, a zip code, a city, a county. Yeah, let's try with the zip code 9001. 90001. And I can choose that zip code. And what I can do is I can choose the frequency at which I'm sending this lead market reports. Okay, so right now it's set on 7 days. Let's say every 28 days I wanted to send Alicia a market report of the zip code. All I would need to do is type it up here as such, choose my frequency, click add, and voila. Every 28 days, without any extra work on my end, Alicia will receive a market report of the zip code. Okay, that's really cool stuff you can start doing with all of the leads in there once you import them. Next up, you have Core Present. Again, we won't get into that, but just in short, it's just a feature that allows you to build CMAs and presentation for buyers or sellers. Listing valuation. What you can do here is actually put a property address in here, and it will send them an evaluation for that property so they can see an estimate of how much it's worth. Okay, so this could be their property or just a property in general that they're curious about, so it could be anything. Seller report. So this is you basically putting in an MLS ID, and it will send them a seller report. Okay, so once you have an MLS ID, and if we look at the little I here, it'll tell you some more details to make this work, but you can put an ID in here and send out a report to the client. Last but not least, you have the home ownership app. We won't get into this because you might or might not have this depending on where you are. In my state and in my office, this is something that's offered and at no extra cost. But KvCORE does give you access to 360 Home, which is a really cool app that's branded to you that you can share with all your clients. Okay, so there we are. We have covered the contacts page where you can start nurturing leads. So you can go through each of your contacts and make sure all the emails, phone numbers are good. You can now change their status. So if they're people within your sphere of influence, you can change that up here. You also have access to the timeline where you can see every single thing that happened between you and the lead. And on the right hand side, obviously you can take your actions such as making phone calls, text messages, sending out emails, and taking notes. And at the bottom right, we have all of the email marketing, recurring things you can set people up for, such as property alerts, smart campaigns, link in the description, market report, listing valuation, and all that fun stuff. Okay, so this is what you're going to be seeing every time you log on to KvCORE if you're doing things right. Okay, because if you're not seeing this, that means you're not nurturing those leads, you're not taking any action. So as you add people, you're going to want to open this up and make sure all their stuff is okay. Call them, leave notes, make calls, and send emails and all that fun stuff. Okay, so this is what all this section means. So there's also the profile details section. We won't get into too much, but this just shows you extra information about that lead. You can see all of the alerts you've set here. You can store files here, pertaining, any files that this client may have sent you or any files you want to store that pertains to this lead. You can see transaction history and tasks you've set for this client, okay, which is also an extra feature. It's not super important at the moment because this is just a basic tutorial, but you can set tasks for yourself and create some deadlines for those, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so this is number one. So now that we know what this section does, I'm going to close out of this and I'm going to show you how to interact with all these clients or all these contacts you've imported on there on a bulk basis, if I can say that. Because it's one thing to know how to nurture your leads, but you don't always want to go through each of them one by one and start taking action. So if you're sending out an email that you can send out to everyone, the optimal method wouldn't be to click on each and every single person. The optimal method would be to select all those people and type that email once and get it sent out. So when you open up your KvCORE dashboard, you can actually select everyone by clicking on the little box next to the first name. So this will select all the people within this page. And if you have more than 250 contacts, you might have to go to the next page to select those other people too. But Yeah, so you can change that here. But through here, you can check who you want to interact with. You can choose multiple people at once, or you can choose everyone on the page. And if you go right next to the search bar right here, there are quick actions you can take to all of the select contacts. Okay, so if I wanted to send an email to all these people, I would just have to check all of them like so. Click on mass email, and just like that, I can type up an email, click send, and it'll tell me how many people I've selected and how many this will be sent out to, which is pretty cool. And at the top here, it will also tell me whether or not, you know, people will not receive this email and why. Looks like 26 out of the 50 I selected are unsubscribed from email notifications. But remember, all these contacts are not real. These are just fake contacts I'm using for this tutorial. Okay, but this is a good need to know up here. So I'm gonna close out of that. And yeah, that's how you select multiple contacts and send out a mass email. You can do the same thing. Instead of mass email, you can do a mass text, you could do a mass video message, and if you click on more actions, you can actually do more than just that. You can add tasks to all of these clients or all these contacts at once. You can change everyone's status at once. You can share, do so many more things. I encourage you to come through here and see what all KvCORE has to offer. But to keep it simple, you'll most likely just be selecting everyone to either change, to either send out a mass email, a mass text, or just add, change their status altogether, or maybe just delete a bunch at once if you need to do so. Okay, so that is how you nurture leads individually and as basic as possible on KvCORE. So yeah. So now I'm gonna show you how to filter through contacts, okay? So some of your contacts may be buyers, some may be sellers, some may have, addresses on file, or some may not have an email on file, and you wanna sort through all those people and contact them individually. KvCORE has a filter feature right here. So for you, this might be green, it might not, but doesn't matter. Just go ahead and click on it, and it will open this up on the left-hand side of the screen. Okay, it'll say filters at the top, and you can choose certain criteria to filter all your contacts by. Okay, so right now I'm only showing fake contacts. That's why you see this up there. But on your end, let's say you only wanted to show people who are closed. So you would check closed, and once you click apply filter, KvCORE will reload and only show you closed contacts on the right hand side, okay, which is pretty cool. If you want to see closed and people who are in contract, you can check that. Now when you click apply filter, KvCORE will only show you that. Okay, so whatever is displayed here, you can interact with all of them at once, remember, by selecting the little checkbox and then taking action at the top right here, or clicking more actions to do even more with them. So pretty fun stuff. And you have so many different toggles, if you will, to filter through all these contacts. You can filter by contact detail, behavior, property interest. Let's go into the contact details one. You can filter by buyer, seller, renter, vendor, or agent. You can filter by their rating, which we talked about earlier. Hashtags, we'll get into in just a moment. Contact source, so depending on where the contacts came from, you can also filter through all those people that way. System source, you can filter through people who have a phone number on file, who don't have a phone number on file. So many different ways to filter through contacts. Okay, so that's what filters are. Now let's talk about hashtags. So what are hashtags? So hashtags are another method for you to categorize all of the leads within your system, because sometimes just labeling as buyer, seller, or contractor might not cut it, okay? Because you have different types of buyers, you have different types of sellers. You can have first-time home buyers, you can have first-time home sellers, you can have, FHA buyers, you can have contingency buyers, you can have so many different, subcategories categories for all of the leads, sometimes it's inefficient to market to all of them at once when they're not in the same circumstances. Okay, so by applying hashtag to contacts, you can leverage that hashtag to filter through all of the other contacts you're not interested in. So for instance, if I was to click on Alicia right here, looks like Alicia has two hashtags right now. One says fake contact and one is a bunch of gibberish. But I was able to filter through Alicia using the fake contacts hashtag. Okay. So let's say Alicia, right now it says Alicia is a buyer. So let's say Alicia might be a first-time home buyer to get even more detailed. So I can type in first-time home buyer right here. Oh, hashtags don't have any spaces, so do not put any spaces in between. So I already have a hashtag called first-time homebuyer, so I'm going to click on that, and then that will populate down here under the list of hashtags that are attributed to Alicia. So now that Alicia has this hashtag, what I can do is go back to the CRM, and now I can filter through all of my contacts and only select people who have that specific hashtag attached to their names. So on here, if we go to contact details, notice that there's a hashtags section I can filter by. So in here, if I was to type first time home buyer, right here, it'll pop up. And if I click on it and go down here and apply that filter, now it's only going to show me people who have that hashtag attached to their names. Make sure to uncheck everything else if that's the only thing you want to see. But yeah, that's what hashtags are in a nutshell. So go to town with them, be as detailed as you can. That way you can sort through all your contacts and market to them independently to have the maximum impact on all of your campaigns. Okay, so there you have it. We've learned what hashtags are, how to nurture leads, how to mass email, mass text, how to take action such as giving them a call through KvCORE, sending them a text, taking notes, and yeah, hopefully you found a lot of value out of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this was KvCORE from KvCORE Homes. If you need any one-on-one help, make sure to go to the website agents.kvcorehomes.com, book a free one-on-one session with me, and we can talk about KvCORE, social media, online branding, all of that fun stuff, and we'll take our time and actually go at your own pace. Okay. Make sure to like, subscribe to the video to not miss any future ones, and I will see you in the next one.